Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Reading Between the Lines. I am your host, the Water Dog, and today I have an exclusive premiere for you, brother. But before I do that, do me the kind favor of hitting up my sponsor for today's video, Black Chantry Productions. That's right, man. Coming out May 31st, we're going to have a new blood Hakata and a new blood lasombra. So for more information, you can go to their website at www.blackchantry.com. Tell them the Water Dog sent you. All right, man, I'm super pumped for today's video, brother, because we get to talk about a vampire that is a classic. You're talking about a legendary vampire from the world of darkness, and we're going to get a card to show for it. So we're going to start with the history of this vampire. Our vampire is Roger de Camden. That's right, man. Now, Roger de Camden was born in the year 695 in a small rural area of England called Camden. His given name was Rowan. Now, as a child, Rowan was obsessed with dead things. He had this gift for communicating with the dead and hearing the whispers of ghosts around him. Now, such was this gift that it caught the attention of a Cappadocian vampire named Constantia. Now, if you played, our game long enough, you know that we've got a great card called Lady Constantia. Okay, Giovanni, 10 cap, 5 disciplines. I mean, she's a beast, right? Now, Constantia was fascinated with the young man and decided to become his mentor. And she takes Rowan on a voyage of enlightenment. They travel throughout the land and explore life and death together. Now, at this time, Constantia makes the decision to embrace Rowan. He is 36 years old when his mortal life ends, and he becomes kindred in the year 731. Now, as a vampire, Rowan was able to more intimately understand the nature of death and the soul. He could not only hear the spirits of the dead, but now with vitae flowing through his veins, he could command them. He goes on a pilgrimage throughout Europe, studying the soul in these various forms of existence. When he visits Paris, a local toreador mispronounces his name, and he calls him Roger de Camden. Okay? Rowan likes the resonance of the name, and he decides to keep it. No more Rowan of Camden. He is now Roger de Camden. Now, our story shifts. In the world of darkness walks an ancient figure. His name is Mithras. Mithras, of course, in our game, we've had 2 different versions of this legendary vampire. Mithras is a 4th generation Ventru Methuselah. He has ruled, for centuries in Europe. Even at the time of Christ, you had the cult of Mithras existing, and this blood cult worshipped him as a god. At this time, during the 11th century, Mithras, the childer of the Ventru antediluvian, is around 2,000 years old. When de Camden heard the Methuselah Mithras had returned to London, he felt compelled to learn more about one of the oldest vampires of Europe. So he travels to London with the intention of interviewing the ancient, and Mithras receives de Camden, and a rapport grows between them over time. The two eventually become lovers. Now, it was considered to be a liability to have a lover in the kindred world, especially for one as so strong as Mithras, and so their passion for one another was kept in secret. Mithras then promotes de Camden to Central, basically his right-hand man. De Camden becomes the voice of Mithras in all things, and while Mithras is away, he rules. At the beginning of the 16th century, the Giovanni, who were the offspring of the Cappadocians, that's what they were, began killing the Cappadocian elders, and de Camden becomes one of their targets. And so he then sits down and writes this letter to Constantia. He makes it clear he's tired of being hunted and that he had accepted the inevitable. But in reality, what he had done was he had invented the ritual of transferring the soul. If you look at Mithras' disciplines, you'll notice that he has thaumaturgy. He has it at the superior. He has this discipline, this blood sorcery. And in utilizing this blood sorcery, and of course, doing all of this research over time over the dead and the existence of the soul, de Camden is one that captures that, okay? So de Camden's soul is removed and placed in this new Canaanite body. In 1514, the Giovanni attack his haven. The Giovanni destroyed the Cappadocian's body. Mithras, knowing the truth of his lover, continues this ruse, and to protect the secret of the ritual, Mithras slaughters the surviving attackers. Roger de Camden is no more. Pater Thomas is born. The cult of Mithras grows stronger, and Pater Thomas is its leader. In 1996, Mithras awakes from a torpor, and he is attacked by several packs of lupines, and he defeats them, but he's exhausted, his body is horribly wounded, and in this wicked state, he is diablerized by this fledgling canine Monty Coven. It takes more than Amrith to destroy one so ancient, so now Mithras and Monty wage their own war for control over the shared body. Today, Roger de Camden serves as Prince of Edinburgh and Pater of the cult of Mithras. From this position, he organizes the family reunion. This is going to be a meeting between the clans Giovanni and Cappadocian and all of the related bloodline clans. Now, due to broken promises and the death of clan leaders, we get this new clan of death. This clan of death is born through all of this, which we call Hecata. And from this beginning starts the rise of one of the most famous vampires in the world of darkness, our vampire today, Roger de Camden. So that's why I'm so excited, man. I'm so pumped because we get to talk about a great card who has a great history. And so here we go. Here is the card. Roger de Camden, Hecata, 10 capacity, superior aspect, superior fortitude, superior obfuscate, superior oblivion, and superior presence. We've got 5 disciplines. They're all at superior. He's a Camarilla, Prince of Edinburgh. Cards requiring Hecata and or oblivion cost Roger -1 blood. Once each turn, if Roger is ready during a combat involving a minion you control, he can then discard a card requiring oblivion to give that minion 1 maneuver. All right, there is a lot of stuff going on with this vampire, okay? Now, my last exclusive preview I had, we talked about Hecata, and we talked about the fact that they're going to make a lot of minions for you, okay? You're going to get a lot of wraiths, you're going to get a lot of zombies, and then here we go now, we're going to get this vampire that's going to help to reduce the cost of making those allies, okay? To make those extra minions that you're going to be putting on the field with, all right? And so it's just a wonderful ability to have. Now, this ability to reduce the cost of things has been around for a while, and I just want to kind of let you know, because I think sometimes when we hear the term, one blood, we forget that we're not talking pool, because there is a difference if you're going to reduce the pool or if you're going to reduce the blood, okay? So you take example a vampire like Grimgroth, okay? Grimgroth, his ability is that, you can get a mage ally that costs Tremere you control 2 fewer pool, okay? So he can reduce the pool cost, okay, of those mage allies that he makes. Then you can get to somebody like Jan Berger. Jan Berger, okay, Potence cards cost him 1 fewer blood, okay? 1 fewer blood, so we're talking about the difference right there. You get like Regina Giovanni, the right hand of Augustus, all right? Allies and retainers cost Regina 1 fewer blood or pool, okay? So for our guy Roger, it's going to be -1 blood, okay? But for Regina, it's 1 fewer blood or pool. So there is a difference in that. The only vampire that really to me has a unique sense of doing all of this is Ism Ab Azrael. Cards requiring Quietus cost Ism 1 fewer blood. So for the Quietus card is 1 fewer blood, but weapons cost him 1 fewer pool or blood. And so there's a difference there. So he's one that's really kind of unique. It's, he does a little bit of both. One with the discipline of Quietus and then one with the weapons, okay? But our boy Roger de Camden, okay, we're looking at 1 less blood, okay? And so I just want to make sure that you understand the difference, because I've done that myself before where I've discounted things because I'm thinking 1 less blood, well, that also means pool. It does not. It is simply blood. So just got to remember the difference between blood and pool, okay? But the good news is that most of the allies that we're going to be looking at when we're talking about, the Hecata, is they're going to be, the requirement is really going to be blood. More than anything else, that's what it's going to be, is it's going to be blood, okay? And so when you look at something like an aggressive corpse, it's going to cost you 2 blood, okay? A bone shambler is going to cost you 1 blood, that type of thing, okay? So the nice thing is that you're going to have all of these, these minions, they're going to have their cost reduced especially those that we're talking about with the blood, okay? But you can always do some of the same things we talked about before in our last video. You know, we talked about, you know, some of the cards that you could add to it to help you with cost, okay? So, you know, you're talking about things like Charisma, okay? Because Charisma will do that for you. It's a unique card. You put the card on a ready vampire. Recruit ally actions cost this vampire 1 fewer blood or pull, okay? And there's a blood or pull there, reference for you right there. And so now when you're looking at an ally that's going to cost you a pull, so let's take a look and see what we got here. Let's talk about Screamer. Okay, Screamer costs a pull. Well, with Charisma, it's going to be at no cost for you. Okay, if you're trying to recoup, okay, if you need to if you need to recoup, then you can use something like a Perfectionist, because Perfectionist is an archetype. So you know, now don't forget. Now, Charisma is not an archetype. It's just Charisma is just a unique card. It's just a master card that goes on. Okay. Because you can only have one archetype. So you can have Charisma and Perfectionist on the same vampire. And Perfectionist, it says, put this card on the vampire you control. Once each turn, this vampire can gain 1 blood after performing a successful action during which no reaction cards are played. A vampire can have only 1 archetype. Okay? So you can take the action and then regain, you know, a blood for yourself. Okay? And so it's just playing those combination of cards that's even going to help the reduction for what you're trying to do. You know, it's just going to make it stronger is what it does. And so there you go. Now, in our last video, you know, we really weren't able to kind of talk about Oblivion and really the effects of Oblivion and how Oblivion can just be so good. You know, me and Sid talked about it in when I was interviewing him for his tournament win when he was playing lasombra. And we talked about the effect of having Oblivion and what Oblivion can do for you. Because one of the things about Oblivion is that it's just so cyclable of a card, okay? Because a lot of times you can play these Oblivion cards, you're going to be able to play them, you know, when the action is announced, and you're going to be able to play them when the action is over, okay? That's what makes Oblivion so strong, okay? And Roger's going to have superior Oblivion, okay? So one of the good things about this is that it's very hard to get hand stuck. So if you got yourself going and everything else, it's going to be very hard to get hand stuck. So let's look at some of these Oblivion things because I think it's kind of important to catch. So let's take a look, for example, at let's see. Let me hear what I'm looking right here at. Here we go. Our last card that we did, which was Paths in Two Worlds, right? It says only usable as the action to recruit or employ a wraith or zombie is announced. So you're going to get to take the action to, let's say, you know, bring out one of your allied minions, and then you're going to be able to play this card. As soon as the card's going to be able to come out of your hand, you're going to be able to draw and replace. Then you're going to get the bonus of the +1 stealth, even if the stealth is not needed. So now all of a sudden the action's at 2 stealth, okay? And if the action is successful, then you can then burn a blood and you're going to unlock. Okay, so the card is recyclable because of Oblivion. You take a card like Shadowcast. Shadowcast is going to give you +1 stealth. You're going to take the action, you need the extra stealth, you play Shadowcast. If the action is successful, it says at the superior only usable after resolution of a successful directed action. Put this card on this vampire during an action directed at the same Methuselah or same set of Methuselahs. This vampire can burn this card to get +1 stealth. So now you've got a card that's going to have stealth that you can utilize again, okay? So you know, Shadowcloak, take an action, okay? +1 stealth, okay? If once the action is over, only usable after resolution of a successful action, put this card on this vampire. Minions without aspects cannot perform actions directed at this vampire. During your unlock phase, burn this card. And so what makes Oblivion so strong is the fact that it's recyclable. And Roger's got it. He's got it. He's going to have this strength. So you're going to have, you know, with his ability to have cost reduction, his ability to use Oblivion to get actions off, he's going to be very, very tough, okay? Even if he gets in combat, Oblivion's great about with combat because it's still got cards that you can cycle through, okay? You know, you get into combat. Pass through Shadow, right? The inferior strike combat ends, but at the superior strike combat ends, and after combat ends, put this card on this vampire. This vampire can burn this card to get +1 stealth. Oblivion's so good. It's just so strong. Like I said, where monks have obfuscate, you know, Oblivion, it takes lasombra and it takes Akata. It just makes them better versions of that style of play if you want to do, you know, especially with lasombra, you just want to do bleed. But with Akata, you know, you're going to be able to get your minions. You're going to be able to put them in play. It's going to be hard to have that stopped because of the fact that you can cycle these cards. Because even if you don't need the stealth, you can cycle the stealth by putting them onto your vampire in various ways. And Roger's going to be able to do that, okay? And so it's just what's going to make Roger stronger, all right? The other thing that you got to catch too, and this is just, I've talked about this on several occasions, is I love superior fortitude, okay? Because even if the action is blocked, you can always freak drive and get yourself into a new action, okay? And so you're going to be able to do that with Roger, okay? Because Roger's got superior fortitude, okay? And so now you're going to have you know, the ability to pay to play 2 cards, you know, during these, you know, when you're going to start making these minions, you're going to be able to use Paths and 2 Worlds. And you're going to be able to use Freak Drive to unlock, so that you can generate. And so when you really look at a possible turn for him, for him to go through is gonna look something like this. And once again, just, you know, bear with me, but this is gonna be fun and crazy. So here we go. Let's do a breakdown of a Minion Phase sequence that Roger de Camden can take. Here we go. So we're gonna start with it right here. Alrighty, our first action will be to recruit a Spectral Servitor, because you have to do that first, because that's what the card text says, okay? And so you're going to perform this action first, okay? If it is successful, you're going to then unlock, okay? We're going to have ours at the superior, so if we want to use the superior aspect of this of the Spectral Servitude, we can pay a pull to keep him in play for another turn, okay? He has haste. Okay, so we're going to get him into play. He unlocks. Ready? Action number 2, recruit Bone Shambler. Okay? Oh, and by the way, don't forget that Roger reduces the cost of the Spectral Servitude, so it doesn't cost you anything to get him into play. You're unlocked. Same thing now with the Bone Shambler. You're going to be able to take an action to put him into play. It's not going to cost you anything. Roger is still going to be at the 10 capacity at the time he takes this action. Okay? Alrighty? Now, one of the things that you might want to do when you take a Bone Shambler action, you know, to help you with the stealth and everything else, is you might want to play that Path and 2 Worlds with it. So when you announce the action of Bone Shambler, you're playing Path and 2 Worlds, okay? You get the second stealth. Action goes off. At the end of the action, you're going to unlock. You'll pay the 1 for the Path and 2 Worlds. You will unlock. And guess what? It's time for a third action. We're going to take action 3 now. We're going to get out an aggressive corpse. Okay, we're going to reduce the cost of the corpse because it's not going to cost us 2, it's going to cost us 1. All right, and with it costing us 1, you know, once again, it's just saves us a lot of our pool and our resource right there. And then we play Paths and 2 Worlds once again. Get the second stealth to help get the action off. We're going to use the special of the Path and 2 Worlds. We're going to pay the blood if the action is successful. We're going to unlock. Guess what? We're ready to take now a 4th action. All right, now let's go to action number 4. Let's say we're going to do a Shroud of Decay. Okay, we're going to do it at the superior. We're going to remove 7 cards in our Praise Ash Heap from the game to basically make him burn 3 pull. Okay, the action's at no stealth, so we're going to need a stealth card. So we're going to play Shadow Cloak to help get the action off. Okay. If the action is going to be successful, we're going to do a couple of things. First thing is we're going to throw a Shadow Cast on there, okay? At the superior, only usable at the resolution of a successful directed action. Put this card on this vampire during an action directed at the same Methuselah or same sect of the Methuselah. This vampire can then burn this card to get +1 stealth. So we just did 3 damage to our prey. We've now got a Shadow Cast geared specifically at him. And then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to Free Drive. And I'm going to now go to action number 5. Roger de Camden is a Camarilla Prince, which means he can play all of those cards that Camarilla Princes can play. One of those cards is going to be Camarilla's Iron Fist. It's a political action. Let's take the political action, okay? We're going to choose a set of Methuselahs. We're going to allocate 5 points. We're going to put 4 on the prey, maybe 1 on the predator. We're going to be able to gain a pool. We're going to give that to ourselves. This is it's going to have a 1 stealth action is what it's going to be. And if the action goes off, you know what? Great. We do some more damage. So we did 3 with the Shroud of Decay. We've done 4 with the Camarilla's Iron Fist. We've done 7 damage now to our prey. We're going to freak drive. We're going to get out of that. Okay? Now we're going to bleed. How about an intimidation bleed? We're going to bleed at the superior because he's got superior presence, and we're going to bleed for +2. Okay? So now we're doing a bleed action for 3. Okay? And guess what? I can now take that shadow cast card, okay, that I have on my vampire, okay, and get that 1 stealth to get that action off. Roger de Camden is going to be able to be a beast in this game because you're going to get a lot of reduction. You're going to be able to take a lot of actions during a turn. And if you don't have a predator or prey that's got a lot of intercept to stop you, okay, you're going to have a turn that can really go on for a while and be able to do a lot of different things. He's just going to be that special in the game, and especially when you think about all the other members of the Hokata that you can put on in a crypt together, or where you can do a lot of different things with the Hokata, with the minions. It's just going to blow up. It's just going to be really, really special. And that's one of the reasons why, man, I'm just looking forward to it. I am looking forward to seeing this vampire out. And so that new blood Hokata, it's going to hit, May 31st. Can't wait. It's going to be spectacular, brother. Hey, man, I want to thank Black Chantry for the opportunity to present to you the history of this great vampire, and then also kind of give you a breakdown of what you can do with this great vampire, man. This has been Reading Between the Lines. I'm the Water Dog, and y'all take care. Hey, man, thanks for watching Reading Between the Lines. If you'll do me the kind favor, if you look right there. You see that little circle? That says subscribe. Hit that subscribe button for me. I appreciate it. Underneath that, that's a playlist. So if you want to watch more videos, hit the playlist. It's not complicated. It's real simple. Subscribe. Playlist. Subscribe. Playlist.